Hello, I'm Flora Martyr and I'm a Preston-based animator and moving image artist. I work in a variety of media to create different textures and effects, and I predominantly work in one of two ways. Experimental film, which is often abstract, and rotoscope animation, which is usually less abstract depending on the project.
Quite fun. It's propelled me into the world of being modern because I've actually got a smartphone. I've become an NHS volunteer, so I've got the smartphone app for that.
Tarmac. She watches the staff in standard black uniform gossiping amongst the Jaffa cakes.
I also like to combine the techniques to create a unique visual look.
For all that you've done, you search for an answer under the sun.
I have had my work screened at various festivals around the UK and have been commissioned both locally and nationally. For this video I will be focusing on rotoscope animation as that's my primary medium. It's an animation technique which is seldom used in mainstream production, so hopefully you will all learn something new from watching this video. I'll start by showing you the technique and then I'll explain a little further about the medium. Firstly, you need a piece of footage to rotoscope. You can either film something yourself or use an existing piece of footage. I film my hand using a tablet which I use to rotoscope. I love drawing hands. Next, you bring the video into an animation program. I use one called TV Paint, though I have also used Adobe Flash, or as it's now called, Adobe Animate. There are plenty of others as well, but I only have experience using these two, so I'm not going to explain about the others. Rotoscope animation is when filmed footage is redrawn frame by frame to give a distinct animated aesthetic. This creates a bridge between live action film and traditional animation, allowing for extremely lifelike yet creative productions. The term was actually patented over 100 years ago in 1915 by animator Max Fleischer. I usually start with the outlines, but that's just me, and perhaps other rotoscope artists will do it differently. As you can see, I have used a blue to draw these, which I'll then change at the end. This is because when I'm rotoscoping I like to use a contrasting colour to the footage so it shows up nicely on screen and makes my job a lot easier. For this example I'm using a bold outline and then redrawing the footage in a fairly rough manner. I don't mind if the lines don't quite match up exactly. I like my work to have life to it and for the lines to boil. This is when you can see them moving. I don't like my work to look really smooth or polished. When taking full advantage of the medium, that could be the blurring of reality with fantasy and dream sequences or even science fiction genre films. This is because you can easily move in and out of what's perceived as real and what is not because of the lifelike attributes of the medium. It also works really well within documentaries, especially when wanting to create a smooth transition between talking heads and reenactments or stock footage. So for example, if you are using footage shot by multiple parties of the same event, but want the end result to look the same, you could rotoscope all of the different pieces of footage in the same style. This will eradicate any difference in cameras or camera work, and also make the film stand out in a creative sense. So where might have you seen rotoscope animation? A popular example is the Aha video for their song Take On Me. It has been used in more independent productions such as the films Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly, directed by Richard Linklater in the early 2000s. It has also been used in the 2016 documentary Tower and the recent 2019 Amazon Prime series Undone, amongst others. Waking Life was actually the first film I watched in this technique, and ever since then I was hooked. I've been developing and honing my style ever since. Rotoscoping does take a while and can sometimes feel fairly monotonous, but if you put on music or podcasts, it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Personally, I enjoy using a medium because it's a very realistic style but still leaves plenty of room for creativity. With my backgrounds in fine art, film production and experimental film, the technique allows me to create work which satisfies all of my sensibilities as an artist. So for the 7-second clip, the outlines took just 4.5 hours. Though I've been kind and condensed them down for the purposes of this video. Again, like the outlines, for the colouring I use darker colours and then change them at the end. This is so you can see them easily and look for any bits you might have missed, such as the corners or where the outlines are too close together and the fill might not have reached. I'm also working in 2s here, so that's when you animate in 12 frames a second instead of 24. If you're not familiar with animation speak, a frame is each separate drawing. The standard is 24, but unless a massive production with a big budget, then 12 is plenty. So this piece is only 93 drawings instead of 186. That would have taken double the time for essentially the same effect. Like the outlines, depending what project of course, I also like the backgrounds to boil. This is so they don't look too still and out of place against the flowing foreground animation. Luckily I don't need to draw this 93 times. I've just drawn it 4 and then repeated the frames to match the length of the foreground animation. This piece in total took almost 7 hours to complete, so that's just under 1 hour for each second of animation. And this is a fairly basic clip just to demonstrate the process. So when including a background or anything else it will take much longer. Here's the clip in full. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video and learnt something about rotoscope animation. If you have any further questions then please don't hesitate to get in contact. Thanks for watching.